In this tutorial, you'll learn about working with your products and services list. This is a list that you'll use when creating invoices for your customers, and you'll be selecting charges to add to the invoice from the products and services list. You'll want to set this up before you begin invoicing in iForgeAhead, and of course you can come back to it whenever you need to adjust your prices or change the items in your list. We'll get there by clicking on the Settings menu bar at the top, and from the Settings navigation page you'll click Products and Services. This will display a list of your active products and services, and you can think of this as your price list, items that you charge for throughout the course of your business. I want to point out that the information that you're seeing here is just for demonstration purposes. When you begin using iForgeAhead, this list will be blank, and you'll create your own list of products and services. Like any list in iForgeAhead, you can find information that you're looking for by sorting on the columns. To do so, you'll simply click on the column heading, and that will resort the information based on that column. I'll click on Billing Rate here, and the items have been resorted with the lowest price at the top and increasing prices as you go down. If you click that header again, it will sort them in reverse order with the most expensive at the top and decreasing prices as you go down. I'll return it to the normal sortation, which is alphabetical by description. With any item in the list, you can change the information for that item by clicking the pencil symbol here, and that will allow you to edit any of the fields in the list. You can also delete an item with the red X. At this point, I'm going to add a new item, and I'll explain the different fields for products and services as I do so. Click the green plus to add a new item. In the first field, you'll want to type a description of the item, how you'd like it to appear on the invoices. In the type field, you'll want to select either service or product. This is affecting your sales tax calculations. In the cost rate field, you can leave that set to 0. Or if you know the cost that you incur to provide this product or service, you can enter it here. The information in this column is never visible to your customer, but it is used in iForgeAhead behind the scenes for analysis reports. In the billing rate field, you'll enter the price that you most commonly charge for this item. I want to point out here that when you're working in a specific invoice and you pull an item from this list into the invoice, you will be able to change this billing rate to adjust it up or down on that particular invoice. But when you're setting up the list in this screen, you should just enter your most commonly charged amount for that item. The next field simply reflects the unit of measure for this item. The List Sequence field provides you with a powerful feature of iForgeAhead that gives you control over how your items are sorted when you're working with an invoice. So when you're creating a new invoice, you'll be adding charges that are coming from this list, and those charges can either be sorted alphabetically by their name, or they can be sorted by the list sequence number that you enter here. So our general recommendations in this case are for you to enter lower numbers for the items you charge for most frequently, and higher numbers for the things that you don't use quite as much, because this is the sort order that the items will show up for you when you're creating an invoice. Another tip is that you can assign gaps in your sequence numbers. So instead of assigning them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can go 5, 10, 15, 20 as you're creating your initial list, and that way when you come back later and add more items in, you'll have a slot for them with an earlier number. The inactive column we'll return to and discuss in just a moment, but you'll never check this when you're adding a new item because it's brand new, but later you may want to make it inactive. Once the data is how you'd like it, click the green check mark to save. And now you can see our new item right here in the list. Now for inactives, at some time in the future, you may want to come in and clean up your list. There may be items that you want to remove from your list as they're currently worded, and you can do that usually by clicking on the red X. But in some cases, you may get a message when you try to do that that says you can't delete the item because it's been used in an earlier invoice. If that's the case, you'll just want to click the edit symbol instead and mark that item as inactive. Once an item is inactive, it won't appear in this list, and it won't appear when you're creating invoices. If you ever need to go back and see an item that you've marked inactive, you can use the filter control here on the left by selecting Inactives Only. That concludes our tutorial on setting up and working with your products and services list. Thank you.